What type of annuity, quote unquote, simulates market index performance? What a loaded question. Hi there, I'm Stan the Annuity Man, America's annuity agent, licensed in all 50 states. Boy, if there was ever a topic that I needed to address, it's this one, because this is the one where hopes and dreams are sold, but contractual realities exist. We're going to go over everything after this. So anytime someone talks about market performance and the word annuity in combination, I start, start throwing up in your mouth a little bit, like your mouth starts watering, because this is where the bad sales pitches happen. This is where the hopes and dreams are sold. This is where people that should be making a really good informed decision get overwhelmed by the too good to be true nature of these market return scenarios and hypotheticals and theoreticals. Now, we do not at the Annuity Man sell any of these products that have hypotheticals. We only sell the contractual guarantees of the policy. I'm the pioneer of CGO, which is contractual guarantees only. With annuities, eventually the whole annuity industry will join me when they figure out all of this other stuff is nonsense. But when you're talking about market return products in the annuity world, it really comes down to three. We can sell you one of those three, but we only use that one to deliver an income rider guarantee. We don't look at the hypothetical. Okay, so let's go through the first. Variable annuity. It was put on the planet in the 1950s by TIAA. It was called TIAA-CREF a long time ago. And in essence, it's a bunch of mutual funds. The industry calls them separate accounts, but me and you call them mutual funds. Mutual funds wrapped with an insurance wrapper. The average annual fee for a variable annuity is, I think, around 2.5% to 3% annually for the life of the policy. I'm not saying that's good or bad. No load, meaning agents can't sell them, and there's no fees, no load variable annuities. That for all of you people that manage your own account, you can manage your own account inside of a variable annuity. The good news about a variable annuity was that those mutual funds, i.e. separate accounts internally, it was growing tax deferred. And that was good. You could go aggressive and it was a good product, but the variable annuity world has really lessened, and it takes a securities license to offer variable annuities. And just full disclosure, I used to work for Dean Witter, Payne Weber, Morgan Stanley, and UBS. So I had the securities license. I don't have that anymore because there's nothing there I want to sell. I'm licensed in all 50 states to sell fixed annuities, contractual guarantees. But in my opinion, back in the day, there were some no-load variable annuities that I would say, yeah, you need to look at that if that's what you want to go do. And then in 1995, fixed index annuities were introduced. And they were introduced to compete with CD returns. They were never introduced as market products. The 2008 market debacle was kind of the proliferation of fixed index annuities, in my opinion, okay? I've been around a long time. I saw when they first came out in 1995. Keyport Life, I think, was the first one to come out with them. But what they typically have is an index, typically the S&P index, but that doesn't include dividends. Okay, and that's a key point that you need to know. S&P 500, over 50% of the returns are dividend-based. So when you're talking about index annuities without the dividend in the S&P, then you're limiting yourself. The other thing with index annuities, and hopefully there'll be one in the future that I want to recommend that I really, really like. But what we use them for now is a delivery system for an income rider when you want income to start at a later date. Works perfectly, okay? But the index side we really don't look at because there's a couple levers that they have, their caps, spreads, participation rates. I've done videos on all of that. I've written a book on index annuities if you want to go to my site and download that for free, and I explain caps and spreads and all that stuff. But the bottom line is that they are not market products, and historically they've not created market returns in the biggest bull market of all time. They are principal protection products, which is good. They are CD return products, which is good, but that's not how they're sold. They're sold with hypotheticals and theoreticals showing double-digit returns. Also, too, in the index annuity world, a lot of carriers make up an index out of midair that you've never heard of before. They run an algorithm to look for a return. Then they put a name on it, the unicorn index or whatever, and then they say, hey, if you'd owned it 10 years ago, you would have gotten this. Well, it's only been around 3 days because you just created it. So there's a lot of things happening in the index annuity world that I disagree with. I don't blame the carriers. They're very transparent. It's just when it gets out to the agent army out there, the story gets better and better. You know, it's kind of like if you sat in a room before and they did the exercise where you whisper something in everyone's ear. By the time it came around, it was completely different because people just kind of added to the story. So index annuities we have no problem with. We just use them as a delivery system for the income rider guarantee. We do not focus on the index side whatsoever. And the newest product to the party is also a securities product. You have to have a Series 7 to sell it. It's called a RILA, Registered Index Linked Annuity. Similar to an index annuity. However, the difference is I call these copay annuities. I know people out there, if you want to yell at me, stan@theannuityman.com, send the hate me email there. But I call them copay annuities because in essence, you pay a fee for your participation in the downside. So you pay more of a fee if you're just going to participate in 10%. You pay less fee if you're going to participate in 20%. In other words, they keep ratcheting it down, but you're paying for whatever participation in the downside that you're going to get or whatever's going to happen. Good side about this is you can pin a gain. You can lock in a gain, which is good. And all of these RILAs are different. But my comment to the people that are selling RILAs, that are securities licensed, because I've been there, so don't look at me and say, you don't know what you're talking about. No, actually I do, player. I really do. If you're offering that to your clients, then I don't understand that. Manage the money. Aren't you there to manage the money? Aren't you there to charge a fee for managing the money? And if they do better, you do better, you know? But why are you selling a packaged product? Why are you having your client participate in the downside and pay for it? Listen, I've seen some of the returns on the RILAs. Some have been good, some have been bad. But I don't understand it other than the brokerage firms wanting to package something like an index annuity that's unique to the securities industry and sell it. That's what it is. Now, for anyone that charges, any advisor that charges a fee on an indexed annuity or a RILA, like an ongoing wrap fee, to me, my opinion, that's a joke. It's especially a joke with the index side. I think the RILAs would have more of an argument because there's a little bit more to it. It's a lot more complication and all that stuff. You can pin gains, etc. But for indexed annuities, where you can typically, with most of them, only lock in the gain 1 day per year and the other 364 you can't do jack, there is absolutely, send me the email, stan@theannuityman.com. There's no justification for anyone, any advisor, charging a fee to manage an indexed annuity. That is a joke. And the people know that. So what you're saying is, I'm going to charge you this fee, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, but when we meet 1 day next year, we'll be able to lock in the gains. But up until then, we're just going to watch it, but I'm going to charge you a fee. That's an indexed annuity wrap fee. I think RILAs are a little bit more than that. But once again, going back to the whole premise of what annuity types mimic or can possibly give you market returns, there's 3. Variable annuities, index annuities, but they really can't. Index annuities were developed for CD products, but that's not how they're sold. And then RILAs. But in my perfect world that I live in, that I want to live in, and that I definitely want my clients to live in, market growth does not equate an annuity. If you need market growth, then go get it. Why you would want limited market growth, I have no idea. And yes, I've been there. So this was a tough topic to me because I've had to hold it in. I've not told you what I really want to tell you. But these packaged products, these hopeful products, don't buy hope, buy contractual guarantees. Don't buy hypotheticals, buy contractual guarantees. Don't buy back-tested numbers, buy contractual guarantees. And with variable annuities, if you want to buy mutual funds, go buy mutual funds. You don't need a variable annuity and pay the fee to do that unless tax-deferred growth is just the biggest thing to you ever. But the problem with the variable annuity side, my opinion, is you're limited with your choices. I'm the pioneer of contractual guarantees only, so this topic to me makes my mouth water to vomit. But it's where annuity companies make a lot of money. I get it. Hey, do me a favor. Above my head, click that video. It's counting down right now. Click it. It tells you how we work at the Annuity Man. If you want to lock in a policy and be one of our clients, I tell you the nuts and bolts of it. Okay? So do that, and I'll see you next time.